What's up, everybody? We are live for Fantasy Corner for Week 6 from the Wide Eye Sports Crew. You got Bryn hosting as always. We got Spoon and Riley joining the show today. Full crew. We're going to get right to it. Guys, I got shit on in fantasy this week. He just smacked around and drugged through the mud. I was in my 4 real leagues. I'm in a family league that I'm not counting. I've won in that league, but the 4 main leagues I'm in, I went 0-4. And the lowest score against me was $120. And then Spoon actually beat me 175 to 134.
Yeah, 174 to 134.
And I would have beat almost everybody else in the league with my 130. The next highest was $125. And then I think there was one other person in the 140s. But I still would have beat almost everybody else. And Spoon just decided to go off.
So to add on to that, there's that league, and then I'm in 2 other leagues that I really care about. If you don't believe what we're saying on our end, I beat Brenner by 40. I won my other league by 50. I beat the number 1 team in our league at the moment by 50. And then in the other league that I'm in, I won by 47 points, 46 points. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Eat a rock. Eat a rock. Eat a rock. All right. We're gonna hop right into things. We're gonna start with waiver wire ads, just to get it out quick here, get you guys the information you need. I got a couple. I don't really have a lot right now.
I'm kind of tired of telling you my waiver wire pickups.
But you're not telling me. You're telling the people.
I know, but I'm just giving them to you too.
But it's not for me. Don't. If you actually want to go first, real quick, just go ahead and throw out those waiver wire pickups. I'm just gonna. Just kidding.
Well, my big one is Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, I have him down.
Yeah, I have him. Yeah, that's my big one. It's looking like the Giants are starting to trust him a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely getting much higher snap count, much higher.
And Singletary was hurt last week, so you saw what he can do as a running back 1, and that was on the road in Seattle.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. I know that he was out, but I'm pretty sure that they trusted him to take over as the number 1, as the main back, and didn't really do a committee or anything with anybody else. It was mostly just him. And I loved what I saw. And I think, if you're a Giants fan, you love what you saw too. Coaching staff should love it as well. His snap percentage should definitely stay up there.
Yeah, and I think the Giants are a better team than we've given them credit for most of the time. They're not. Yeah. They got off to a rough start. Daniel Jones isn't the quarterback of the future there, but they're a 500 team. I feel like the 7-9, a 9-7 finish somewhere in there is right for them at the end of this season. And I feel like we kind of felt like for the first couple weeks they were going to be like a 4-13 team type situation.
Well, I think we're starting
to see a 500 team.
We're starting to see Malik Neighbors break out a little bit, get a little more comfortable with the offense, and that's exactly what
healthy too.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Daniel Jones needed. Obviously, he was out last week, but Daniel Jones just needs that number 1 receiver to throw to, and it's going to help open up the field a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. I have Tank Bigsby. Bigsby has taken over the running back 1 situation in Jacksonville. He outsnapped and outproduced Travis Etienne last week. So Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne's actually a big guy. What the Vikings to trade for at the trade deadline if Tank Bigsby keeps going off. I would love Aaron Jones and Travis Etienne in the backfield of Minnesota. That'd be deadly.
And if you're feeling bad on Travis Etienne, I wouldn't jump the gun and trade him yet, especially in PPR, because he's still getting the targets and he's still getting the receptions. So they're still using him in the production there. And that's basically where most of his points came from. 7 targets, 6 receptions. That's 6 free points right there, plus 43 yards. I would still hold on to him if you're thinking about getting rid of him.
But absolutely.
Tank Bigsby, I like that.
Takes over as the running back situation, the first and second down goal line guy. And having Etienne as the third down. I think most NFL backfields thrive that way in today's NFL without the true number 1. Even Baltimore, who has Derrick Henry, right? They have Hill as their third down receiving guy, right? They have somebody else. They don't have a 1 and all back like Josh Jacobs and is it Eric Wilson? Evan Wilson? I can't remember his first name.
I think Evan Wilson.
Evan Wilson. So either way, Wilson is the backup there. He comes in on third down for reception. No teams do it as a 1 all workhorse back anymore. Even JT doesn't do that anymore. So I do have a wide receiver pickup.
Okay.
Jalen Tolbert.
Oh, that was one of mine.
I
was right there with you.
Him and Juju Smith-Schuster are 2 must-add guys. Dallas throws the ball more than anybody else in the league right now. And with Brandon Cooks hurt, he is going to get you some points right now, especially in PPR formats. He's going to get you at least, I'm thinking a low ceiling or a low floor of like 9 to 11 points in PPR. In standard leagues, I wouldn't recommend it just because he is going to be a target guy, not a big play touchdown guy. So those are my two. And then Juju. I mean, if you watch the game on Monday Night Football, you know that Patrick Mahomes obviously trusts him. They're going to keep Hollywood Brown as the big play threat guy. And then Mahomes needs somebody else to throw to other than Kelsey. So Juju seems to be that guy.
Well, that's my thing with Juju is like I wasn't totally on board with picking him up this week. I'm kind of gonna wait and see. I mean, obviously, if you wait though, someone's probably already gonna pick him up.
Yeah, no, I didn't wait.
I mean, he got 50% snap. Like he was on 50% of the snaps last week, and he didn't get a single target. So that's why I'm just. It's kind of boom or bust with Juju, and that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah. I feel like that's the way with all Kansas City receivers, though. After Tyreek Hill, it's like, whose turn is it this week? It's kind of like that feel.
Well, I'm getting that feel in New York, too. Because,
absolutely. Wan'Dale.
Well, Darius Slayton was the breakout this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Last week it was Wan'Dale with Malik Neighbors getting hurt late. This week is Darius Slayton. Like, it's very boomer. It's definitely who's open, not who is the big target guy, whereas when Neighbors is in, it's just Neighbors no matter what. And then my final one for the day is Brenton Strange, tight end from Jacksonville. Who knows when Evan Ingram is actually going to come back? They keep saying he's close, but who knows, man? And if you need some tight end help, Brenton Strange has been putting in work, so definitely swing by the waiver. He's only, according to this, he's available in over 60% of leagues still, so make sure to pick him up. But that's all the waivers I have.
So Brenner kind of stole Jalen Tolbert from me. But
Sorry.
I've got one more pickup in Roschon Johnson.
Oh, you're jumping on the even with all the success.
Hear me out. He was inactive the first 2 games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He has 10 or more points in every game he's played since then.
PPR or standard?
Standard Yahoo.
Okay.
He is owned in 20% of leagues. He has 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. He has kind of emerged as our goal line back. And I think he is talented enough to take on a bigger portion of the reps. But right now, DeAndre Swift's getting a lot of them. But I think he's going to get a lot of goal line work.
Swift is thriving right now. I mean, it's just it.
So that's the other thing too. So you say that he still has not averaged more than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, but he's getting work.
They're giving him the rock.
He's doing the old Adrian Peterson. It's the famine feast roll. It's -2, 0 yards, 2 yards, 14 yards, -1, 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards, 15, 2 yards, 1 yard, no gain, 15. Like he's doing that thing.
Yeah, but even in this last game against the Panthers, DeAndre Swift gets us all the way to the goal line, gets tackled on like the half-yard line. They took him out and put Roschon in.
Okay.
And he took that touchdown.
I'm not arguing it. I'll trust you on it. I didn't watch that much of the Bears game. I didn't watch that much of it. I won't pretend like I did. I was watching some other games at the time. But we had the 4x4 going with the red zone on the side, so it was, it's kind of like trying to watch all of them at once. You guys got any more waivers, or should we move on to must starts this week?
Let's go to must starts.
All right. You guys want to start? You want to go top to bottom? QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end. You want to start with tight end? You want to start with quarterbacks? What do you want to do?
Let's just run through.
Yeah, let's run through them. Let's start with quarterback.
All right, my quarterback of the week is Kirk O'Change going against Carolina. Division game. Kirk's going to ball out again. He just had over 500 passing yards last week, and probably the best game of the week, other than maybe the Dallas-Pittsburgh game against Spoon's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Can I say that now?
No.
Can I say that yet? You're wearing a Bucks jersey.
I'm wearing a Baker jersey. Let's move on.
Hold on. You're wearing a Bucks jersey, and I can't call them your Buccaneers yet?
No.
All right. Well,
he's going to take the Buccaneers logo off the
my
jersey.
Twitter handle is right here, and I am going to tweet out every day to Baker Mayfield to come on the show until he does, because Spoon said if we get Baker on the show, he will denounce his Cowboys fandom and become a Buccaneers fan. So that is my personal goal in life, is to get Baker Mayfield on the show, so that happens. But you guys want to give your QBs? Spoon, you want to go first?
Kirk Cousins was a good one. That was one of my top ones. I'm probably going to go with Lamar Jackson against Washington, though, as my big
I like it.
number one start of the week. Washington has a kind of a weak defense. They did do well against Cleveland, but Cleveland's just
garbage.
Their offense is just terrible. So, yeah.
I mean, Deshaun Watson literally gave up on the team.
I mean, in all honesty, if you have Jaden Daniels or Lamar Jackson, those are two great starts this week.
Great starts.
I think that game's going to be a shootout. I'm already looking at the over on that.
All right.
Riley?
So, Spoon, kind of along the same lines, just the other team. My must start is Jaden Daniels against Baltimore.
Hottest quarterback in football right now.
Yep.
And I know some people at home might be saying, but Riley, a rookie quarterback against the Baltimore Ravens defense, they've got this good defense. They don't have a good defense. They have given up 23 or more points in 4 out of their 5 games. They've given up the 7th most points, the 12th most yards. They're towards the bottom of the league in turnovers. They don't turn the ball over, and they've allowed the 7th most passing touchdowns, which I think all bodes well for Jaden Daniels. That defense is not playing good right now, and I think Jaden Daniels will take advantage of that.
So I would like to point this out. The Ravens had a rough week last week on defense. But their defensive expected points added per game, week 1, -11. Week 2, 0.5. Week 3, -8. Now week 4 against the Bills, they did have a great game, 6.92. There's a good game. But then last week, -19 expected points added. So that Baltimore defense is not what we're used to seeing. And we're back to Lamar having to be Superman to win games. And that's kind of what happens, in the NFL. Teams come and go. Defenses, offenses fluctuate. They can play well at times, and it's possible they have a good game, but it's just not probable.
They did against the Bills. The defense played good against the Bills.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Bills. We'll talk about the Bills more on the actual podcast this week on Wednesday. I have some thoughts I want to give on the Bills, but let's move on to must start running backs. For me this week, I'm picking Jordan Mason against the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. San Francisco is going to be pissed. It's just point blank simple. They're going to be pissed. Let's see. Let's pull it up here. So they lost to the Cardinals. They did shit on the Patriots, if you want to, call that a win. I feel like they should, as a team, shit on the Patriots. They lost to the Rams, lost to the Vikings, and then they beat the Jets, who just had to fire Robert Saleh, and we'll get more to that on the actual podcast this week. Also a blunder, in my opinion. But they face a division opponent in the Seattle Seahawks, and I don't know. I think that Jordan Mason is going to – you saw what Tracy did against the Seahawks this past week. Jordan Mason's going to have himself a day. I expect 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm expecting him to have a huge day. Spoon?
So you're going to hate the name I'm about to say.
Throw it out.
But I'm going to ride the hot hand. The hot hand is going against a very bad defense this week. And that's DeAndre Swift and the Chicago Bears. So I made the mistake last week that I thought about it all day Saturday. I was like, damn, do I start DeAndre Swift over Breece Hall? Do I do it? And I said no. I still won. But boy, should I have done it. I would have won by way more if I would have started Swift. So I'm just going to ride the hot hand and say, hey, put him in your lineup. Start him. I'm starting him this week, luckily, because I have a running back on a bye, and it's perfect for me. I can just throw Swift in there.
Hey, I'm just saying, I've said it before on this show a couple of times so far this season. It's hard to move the ball against the buzzsaw that is the Minnesota Vikings defense. It's just we've taken out Rodgers. We've taken down Purdy. We got Saleh fired. We've taken out DJ Stroud. It's a buzzsaw over there in Minnesota right now. But Riley, who you got?
So my must start this week is Travis Etienne.
Oh, really?
Now, the Bears defense has been playing stellar. But they are hanging their hat on their pass defense. They are above average to a middle of the road running defense. So I think Travis Etienne will get a little bit on the ground. But I love the Bears secondary going against that Jacksonville wide receiving core. I think he's going to get a bunch of receptions and check downs and dump offs because everything downfield will be covered. I like Travis Etienne against the Bears this week.
All right. Well,
Josh Jacobs is a close number 2 for me too.
yeah, that's it. That's a good one.
He plays Arizona. That's going to be
Yep.
a very good matchup for him.
Yep, I like Jaden. Speaking of wide receivers, Jaden Reed against Arizona was a top 3 for me. But I'm actually going to go with kind of an under-the-radar thing that I think nobody else will think about, and that's T. Higgins against the Giants. T. Higgins he's a set-it-and-forget-it guy. He's a number 2 on the Bengals, but he's a set-it-and-forget-it guy. People forget because he was hurt. But this dude can ball, especially with Jamar Chase is healthy. I mean, he is the number 2, and he would be a number 1 on a lot of teams. So set it, forget it, put T. Higgins in your lineup, let him ball out, let him get you 15 points.
Yeah, I'm starting him this week, so.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. Who you got, Spoon?
Man, I didn't really go over wide receivers in depth that much. Malik Neighbors is a very good start this week for me if he plays. He should be back in, and he goes against Cincinnati. Should be another higher scoring game, I believe. I like the matchup. Cincinnati is kind of weak when it comes to their secondary.
Yeah.
Besides that, DJ Moore against Jacksonville is another phenomenal matchup.
Yeah, agreed. Riley?
So I like Chris Godwin. Now, he's been on a little bit of a roll this year.
Yeah,
he has 6+ targets in every game, 5 or more receptions in every game. He has no games with under 50 yards and has touchdowns in 3 out of his 5 games. Going up against New Orleans, kind of a weak secondary, could be a high-scoring game.
Yep.
I like Chris
Who's this quarterback? Who's this quarterback again?
Oh, I don't know. You might have to ask Spoon. He's the resident expert.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Spoon's Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on. Tight ends. My start of the week. You saw what Jake Ferguson did to him last week. Now you're going to see what Brock Bowers does to them this week. I'm taking Brock Bowers against Pittsburgh. Spoon?
I'm going with Kyle Pitts against Carolina. Some idiot in my league decided to drop him, and then he went off last week, which was cool because I got to see him go off on my bench.
Hold up. Kirk Cousins had to throw for 500 yards to get that man 15 points.
Hey, the target share is still there. And it's going to continue. He's going to continue getting targets against Carolina.
Never start Kyle Pitts. I was wrong. Don't do it. Riley, who you got?
Brenner, you mentioned him. I'm going Jake Ferguson.
All right.
With Brandon Cooks being out, he's going to get an uptick in targets.
Yeah.
You would know better than I would, but he's pretty well the second option in Dallas now in the passing attack, is he not?
Yeah, pretty much.
So for all those reasons, I like Jake Ferguson as long as Brandon Cooks is out, maybe even after he comes back.
Sorry, man. I'm a Bucs fan now, so I don't really know much about the Cowboys anymore.
You heard it. I'm going to clip that. That's going to be pinned to our Instagram forever. Ever. I'm going to clip that so hard. All right. Anybody got any more fantasy news before we end the episode? Anything they want to say? All right, boys and girls.
Eagles defense is my must start of the week. If you stream defenses, pick them up. Right, they play Eagles Cleveland. They play Cleveland. That's a great matchup.
Cleveland. But yeah, no, must starts, waiver wire ads. Make sure to get those waivers in tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the actual podcast. Make sure to tune into that. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a like. We love you, and we'll see you next time.